myself. My name is Peter and I'm a real Hamburger, from the city of Hamburg in Germany. And of course, well, how the Hamburger became about, well, there are a lot of stories about it, but let me tell you, I'm grown up in Hamburg, close by, and whenever you go to a pub or a Kneipe, they have a Rundstück, that's how we call it. It's a piece of minced or ground meat, deep fried, and you eat it while you sip your beer. And that's maybe some sailor took it to America and said, all right, let's put it right away in a bun, and here we go, an hamburger. So of course now the big question, how can I use my veggie fillet to make an hamburger? Now, I made it easy for you ladies, and what I've done, or gentlemen, what I have done, I took my veggie fillet, mixed it up with sauteed onions and a little bit of bell pepper for color and a little bit of tomato paste or tomato powder, again for color. So now we got a nice dough already shaped. The only thing now is slightly different. What I always like to do, I steam larger projects. You can fry it, you can put it right away in the frying pan, but what I've done here is I just added and make a steamed burger. So once it's steamed, it's relatively easy to fry it. And as you see, out of one bag, I made 4 hamburgers. Hamburger, as we call it, not hamburger. So there we go. The only thing we have to do now, the water is boiling. And by the way, you can steam already or boil inside some vegetables or seafood. And then cover on it. And a few minutes later, we're going to have our hamburgers. Well, what we have to do now after the steaming of the hamburger, we have to fry it, put it in a hot pan. You see, I always use stainless steel or iron cast. Now in this case we use stainless steel. Put a little bit of olive oil inside or any other nut oil you can find. Don't use vegetable oil. They are not really meant for human consumption. If I may say so, you see, olive oil, butter, would you believe it, butter, it's been with us human for centuries and centuries, and it rather went well. But only in the 60s they came up with this corn oil and soybean oil and all this kind of stuff, which are not really that healthy. So use olive oil if you can. Peanut oil will do us just as well. And here we go, just put the hamburger inside, give it a nice color, get the bun, get the tomatoes, get the onions, and you've got a lovely hamburger. And really, you might get away with it and not telling the people it is not a really meat burger, it is a veggie burger. Yeah. And as I always say, it is made with pea protein and has a little bit binding, a little bit of gluten to hold it all together, give it a nice mouth feel. And if you want to have it more firm, the only thing you have to do is add less water. You make it more soft. Add more water and you got the texture as like a fish fillet. Now if you want to make it firm like a pot roast, as I say, just add a little bit less water. So the only thing you have to do now, you see, the advantage is in a metal pan, you can use a metal spatula. And this gives you a far better flavor, really brine, than having just having it in a Teflon pan. But it doesn't really color, it doesn't really give the right flavor. So here we go. Your pan is sizzling, that's important. Then you put in your meat, or in this case my veggie burgers, and it takes just then it's already cooked. You just give it basically a color. That's all there is to it to make a nice hamburger, and that doesn't mean meat, I mean those, okay? And what I like to say, now this has no hormone, growth hormone, or any kind of injection like the cow. And if you make a burger, a real meat burger, you actually consuming 32 pounds of grain. That's what it takes to make 1 pound of hamburger. Can you imagine 32 pounds of grain? That is more than 40 loaves of bread. Then I think a whole family could actually live on it for 1 month. It's just one burger. Think about it. have enough food around this planet, but if we feed the cows first and then eat the cow, very questionable. And this is far more healthy, and in Hawaii we call it ola. And I like to say, oi ola. Oi means make, ola health. So let's make health. Live a little bit longer, have an active, longer life, and I think that's in everybody's desire. Oi ola.